It is the Frank and Friends show. Hi there, I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Kathryn Frady.
I remember you so well.
Do you? That's good.
I do.
I mean, I haven't been gone that long.
I know, but I can tell you, this is how I know that I'm happy that you're here. My physicality, my body is telling me that I'm happy that you're here because I was on all fours cleaning the bathroom floor moments ago. And I thought, but I realized that when Todd Steed and Teresa Britton came over to talk about Friends of Literacy, I was dripping, drenched in sweat as I was trying to get everything ready, just trying to hook up the camera. I'm just start sweating out of anxiety and nervousness.
Okay.
And today I'm as dry as a bone.
That's good.
Because you're here. See, I'm relaxed.
You know, that's great.
I'm comfortable.
That's good. You didn't have to clean up for me, so.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I do it every time anyway.
I know.
There's always that blue stuff in the toilet.
I know, it's great.
All right, everything's been scrubbed with clean Clorox wipes.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
I appreciate it.
It's part of the, why we hardly, you know what? The fact that we occasionally have guests come over to do the podcast causes me to clean this section of the house from that door to that wall, and that's it.
I still think like a curtain or, one of those screens that you could just like open and close.
With my logo on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, if you love our show, please do subscribe on YouTube and ring the bell for notifications. Oh, that's right. That was your
button.
gig. Oh, shoot, I messed up.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
It has. But you've been traveling, you've been everywhere, doing operas in Baton Rouge, doing operas in Knoxville. Congratulations.
Right. Thank you. We had a really successful production.
Infinite Energy of Ada Lovelace.
Yeah.
Which was good.
Infinitely charming.
I thought, you know how I am.
How are you?
I was anxious and like, oh, what if I don't like it? But it was good.
It was good, right?
I
mean, it was pleasing to listen to, I think. Could you catch all the words? I mean, I know it's hard, even in English.
It depends where you're seated. And I was a tad too close to the orchestra for some of the louder parts.
Right.
But during the quieter parts, I was fine.
Yeah.
But I'll
different singers can sing like more clearly with their diction too. So
I thought they all did really well in that regard. They all performed beautifully.
Great.
And by amazing coincidence, the night before the opera, so it was on, I went on Thursday the 16th, so on the Ides of March, Jere's birthday, to celebrate her birthday, we're sitting around watching Scholars Bowl, as we do. The Ada Lovelace question was on there.
Was it really?
It's on every year.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and the kids rang in right away and said, Ada Lovelace. And
that's awesome.
Well done, well done.
That's awesome. Yeah, we tried to actually get the information out to the schools that we were doing the production.
Yeah.
Because it was part of the Penny for the Arts, and kids could come.
Well, we recorded this last October, so it was just a coincidence that the question about who was
the same time.
Yeah, who is the first female, or first, not even female, I think we just said is credited with being the first computer programmer. And they just ring in right away and say, Ada Lovelace.
That's awesome.
The kids know it. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, great job on the show. So I was there Thursday, and there were many more people than we had expected.
We did do quite well. I think we had about 60 people in the space.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small space, but it felt full.
Yeah.
And then same on Friday, Saturday?
Friday was a little lower, but Saturday was better again.
That's good.
So,
Well, you got to promote it on television. How'd that go?
It was good. I mean, I put out this huge request. Somebody help me get television.
She sends an email to the board. She sends an email to the board saying, this is like, a couple of weeks before, saying everybody's got to, on the board, you got to do your part, you got to spread the word and help us sell tickets because that's what we're supposed to do, right? And she says, I've been trying to get in touch with Channel 6 to get on Living East Tennessee, but Tala was on vacation.
Did I
think is what it said in the email.
No. In the email, I was like, I'm getting in touch with.
Oh.
Yes, you misread that. Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw that Tala was on vacation.
And then you saw that she was on vacation, yeah.
So that's what I thought, I'll open my mouth.
Which you did when you were at Dollywood, right? It
was fate. I ran into Veronica Obey and Dakota Farless, who is currently the producer of that show. He's kind of the producer David left, so they've kind of thrown it on Dakota for now.
Gotcha.
I said, hey, you got any openings on the show? He's like, I don't have anything for Monday. I said, I got 2 for you. How about Frady and me?
And then I showed up at the station, and Dakota was like, where's your partner in crime? Because we were all waiting in the lobby, on time, ready to go.
They told her she had to be there at 2:30.
All the other guests were on time.
You said you had to be there at 2:30.
I'm never on time, so the fact that I was there on time.
But I've been going there every couple of weeks for 2 years, and my call time has always been 2:45. So at 2:44, I knock on the back door and I
was
go
early.
waltzing in.
It was an early call time. I thought so. I thought it was like, I was like, I actually wrote back and said, are you wanting performances? This is like very early.
Yeah, no, if you're going to perform, they have you come at 1 and
yeah.
record it. So you can do that when you sing
Susanna.
Ain't It a Pretty Night.
I think that'd be great.
I heard another woman sing it. Not that I'm cheating on you, Kathryn, but I heard another woman sing the Susanna song this past weekend.
It must not have been as good. I mean, that's
It was... Okay, we can move on to another topic if you want. Rather than, I can't lie.
Are you saying it was better?
No, I'm saying that this woman was
I can
remarkably... All 4 of the singers that Jere and I saw
They were good.
at the Chattanooga Opera, or Opera Chattanooga, had a concert with the Chattanooga Symphony, or however they do it. And all 4 singers were fantastic. They were spectacular.
Good.
And I thought, this is amazing. This is great. It was a very nice way to spend an evening.
That's awesome.
And the people on one side of Jere were the family of this high school kid who had won the youth competition, and he's up there to open the show playing this very complex Haydn concerto and,
that's
nailing
cool.
it.
That's awesome.
And then on the other side of me, it's like we bought artist comps that no one used. As we paid full price for the tickets, but on the other side of me is this lovely family from Iowa. And we're just, I don't know, get talking to the lady for whatever reason, or she says something that catches my ear. And maybe it was the kids going, what's Dad going to sing tonight?
That would do it.
It was the family of the baritone, I think his name is Craig Irvin.
I know Craig.
That's what I thought, because I started talking about you and James, because he studied at University of Tennessee Knoxville before moving back to Iowa.
Yeah. Craig and I have worked together with James. Actually, I'm sure that I've met his wife and kids, but they were like itty bitty.
The twins are 10 now.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent 15 minutes talking to them. I can tell you, their birthday's coming up in July. Kathryn.
Okay, well, that's
Twins will
great.
be
I'll
10.
make sure to send them some gifts.
Twins will be 10 in July.
That's perfect. Well, did they remember James and me?
Well, I didn't get to talk to Craig because he's on stage.
Gotcha.
But the funny thing is, when he's singing these love songs, it's like he's looking right at his wife, and she's 2 seats over from me. But there was a couple where he was singing these angry songs, you know.
And they were right to you?
No, they were to the 10-year-old who was fidgeting.
Are you sure? They might have been to you.
It could have been. Yeah. I said at intermission, I said, does your dad, when you are in trouble, does your dad use that voice at home? Oh, all the time.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, I was in Iowa singing some opera just a couple of weeks ago.
I pulled all this up. I was showing this to the lady. I said, you were doing... Oh, I forgot the name of it now, but it said it. I found it.
Yeah, you found it? What was the name of it?
It was one word.
Cabildo.
Yes.
I was like, I've already forgotten.
It's a naughty word. Something you don't see every day.
Yeah, I was singing Cabildo at the Simpson College, which is actually where Des Moines Opera performs.
Yeah.
So the
And that's where they live, is
beautiful.
Des Moines. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 20 minutes from where I was.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Well, that was a good night, and you were flying, so you flew to Iowa, you flew to New York, you flew to Baton Rouge, you flew to Knoxville.
Oh, that's a lot of places. Have I really not been back since I even flew to Knoxville? I mean,
Here?
since I flew to New York?
The last time you were here, it's been a hot minute. I think.
Since January?
I think so. I mean, I can tell you.
Yeah,
I have a way to look it up.
So I haven't been here since I went to Hamilton?
I don't think we heard about that.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I'll tell you. Give me a second. I'll look it up on the
Well, while you're looking that
on
up.
the YouTube studio. Well, we did the rotisserie chicken episode, the Peruvian chicken.
Right.
That's the last time we saw each other. But before that, we talked about my fig problems. January 19th or thereabouts.
January.
Yeah,
Okay. Mid-January. Yeah, so I probably went to Hamilton after that. Yeah.
How was it?
It was great.
In New York?
Yeah, in New York.
And that's different than, I mean, it seemed like everybody in Knoxville saw it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did. But
I
the
feel
weekend
bad.
before they saw it in Knoxville, I saw it in New York.
I feel bad that I didn't sign up for the Hamilton lottery. They had a ticket lottery where you could buy tickets for $10.
I saw that.
And I thought, well, what are the chances that I'm going to get any? Right?
I had a friend who got one.
I had a friend who not only got tickets to that, but also it was the second time they went. They got tickets to two different shows in Knoxville.
Nice.
I'm thinking, well, why didn't I put in the lottery? Oh,
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So I missed out. But it'll come back. I'll figure out another way. I'll read the book. I'll do something. I'll look at a $10 bill. I'll do something.
So you've never seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. So I was staying in the hotel at the Paramount, which is like right across the street from where Hamilton performs. You can see it like when you come out of the front door. And I was there for an audition that was in the afternoon, and I thought, what do I want to do that night? And I'd always look and see what's playing at the Met, because why not?
Because you're opera. You're an opera lady.
But it was Elixir of Love, and it was not with a cast that I really cared about. And I was like, nah, I'm going to look up and see. So I also go to, like the tickets.
Yeah, TKTS,
Yeah,
right?
and always see what kind of discounts they have. There wasn't anything for Hamilton, but I thought, well, I'll just look, and typically whenever I've looked for Hamilton tickets in New York, they've always been sold out. But there were like 3 or 4 tickets left available on that Friday night in my price range,
that's
which
all
is
good.
the other part of it.
Yes.
And I was like, yep, I'm going. And I really just wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Because,
Sure.
I've heard some bits and pieces of the tunes, but my brothers and their kids and all of my nieces and nephews are obsessed with it. So I was like, what's all the fuss about?
I know. I find that on Scholars Bowl all the time. Anytime there's a question about Alexander Hamilton or anybody who's in that storyline, I always tease the kids, say, you can sing it if you want. And they all laugh and go, ah. But, it's an easy joke to get, easy laugh to get, but it resonates with them.
Yeah, it does. They love it.
Yeah.
So, and, honestly, it was one of my favorite evenings in the theater.
Did
really
you
good.
find at all these airports you visited, and did you go to LaGuardia by any chance?
Oh my gosh, I think I did. It's so new now.
Oh, really? Because last time I was at LaGuardia, it was pretty bad.
Oh, no.
And that's where I first noticed the disintegrating paper towels at airports. And now they have them in Knoxville. They dissolve. They're like tissue paper. You go to dry your hands, and the towel you pull down, and you get nothing except whatever's in between your fingers. You can't. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, but I mean...
Maybe you get nicer towels in the ladies' room.
Yeah. They know I'm coming, so they put nicer
I find it
towels out.
infuriating that I can't. The paper towels just dissolve on contact. You have to dry your hands before you can dry your hands.
I've not experienced that.
Maybe I have unusually wet hands.
Maybe. Do you think they're trying to get you to use the air dryers?
Well, I think
Save some trees
they were, but then in the
during the pandemic?
pandemic, yeah, they went back to paper towels a lot of these places.
Yeah, because apparently the air blows around the
germs.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't flown in forever, right? Or forever, a long time. But I went up at the end of January to see Megan and the kids, and I ended up spending a week there. So I flew both ways. Well, on the way back to Knoxville, we're coming in for the landing, and I'm looking out the window, and I'm recognizing all the sights. I'm like, oh, look, I know exactly where we are. And all of a sudden, we start. And we're getting lower and lower. You can see Alcoa Highway. You're close enough that you can identify the cars. You can't quite read the license plates, but we're getting down there.
You're close.
Coming down Alcoa Highway, right? On the airplane. And then all of a sudden we start accelerating really fast.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, this is not good. Why are we going so fast as we're coming in for a landing? And then, of course, we start tilting way up.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And so at the last minute before landing, maybe the last minute and a half before landing, I think is all it would have taken, we just all of a sudden we go up, back up. And then we go out over West Knoxville, and I'm looking down, and there's no word yet. And I'm looking down, we're coming back around, and here's Thompson Bowling and Neyland Stadium, and then we come back down Alcoa Highway, we make the landing. And the captain finally comes on and says, yeah, about that, folks, apparently there was some close traffic on the runway.
Oh, my goodness.
So we avoided rear-ending somebody on the runway who hadn't gotten out of the way in time.
Wow. Well, congratulations to that pilot. I'm glad I was not on that plane.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the flight that I took from, it was like, I can't remember where I was coming from originally, but it was from Dallas to Baton Rouge. It was the second leg of the flight. And we're flying in, and of course there's all sorts of rain in that area. So one would suspect a little bit of turbulence.
Okay.
So, but they had told us it was going to be clear skies, and that's the worst.
When you fly into Vegas, which is a desert, it's one of the bumpiest flights ever because of the hot air rising. There's no rain. It's just very turbulent.
Yeah. They told us it was clear air. So anyway, that's the worst. They tell you it's going to be clear, no turbulence, and then you start hitting a bunch of turbulence. And it was really bad. It was bouncing all around, and like everyone was kind of getting nervous. And the person sitting next to me, he started getting nervous, and he's like gripping the sides of the chair. And I was like, I hate turbulence, because at that point it's like we haven't really spoken to each other yet.
Yeah.
I started talking, and he was like, yeah, have you seen the TV series Lost? And I'm like, yeah, but that's not the topic to bring up right now, like
about the plane that disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, you seem cool, but like I don't want to end up on an island with you. And then he starts telling me, as we're going through all this turbulence, that the most likely time to crash is in takeoff or landing.
Of course.
And I'm like, that's great again.
Yeah.
But
well, there's no doubt about it. Planes don't normally just fall out of the sky. It's because it's the speeding up and slowing down process because, all the aerodynamics that they have to create this vacuum over the wings in order to push you up and have the pressure push you up. And then similarly, when you're going down, you have to put those flaps are dragging and creating brakes. I get it. There's so much going on. It's a miracle.
When you're trying to land, it's not really what you want to talk about.
No, I don't want to think about that.
We made it, fortunately.
Well, Kathryn, if for any reason, there were a tragedy and we had to identify your remains, we could ask Dr. Bill Bass, founder of the Body Farm.
That was a really nice transition. Thank you. You're welcome.
He used to be on what's called the DMORT team, which is a military or really a governmental agency. I have to look up what it stands for. But in many of the books that you can buy at bonezones.com, don't forget the S, the DMORT team, the Disaster Mortuary Operational Response Team.
Okay.
DMORT. So it's looks like it's now done by Health and Human Services. So people like Dr. Bass and other first responders would go and find the dead and sort them into piles.
Gotcha.
To, like when the fireworks explosion happened years ago, they had to find which, he looked at the legs that were shaved and the legs that were not shaved.
Yeah, somebody has to do it.
And put the shaved legs in one pile and the unshaved legs in another pile. And that started he had to start somewhere.
Right.
So, Dr. Bass, you can read about these.
Nails.
Oh, sure, that's exactly. Yeah. When you read about Dr. Bass, the Body Farm, of course, this is the new, have you seen this one? You haven't seen this yet, the long sleeve tee.
This is nice.
Isn't that nice?
I like that photo. Yeah, it's
good. That's very realistic. And then on the back, it's got a list of all the different books that tell you about, some of them are fiction books, the Jefferson Bass Body Farm novels, but two of them on here, Death's Acre and Beyond the Body Farm, are nonfiction. And they'll tell you some of the more, true life grisly tales that have happened around here. Nice. But they've got the hats. You've seen the hats before. You've got the books, of course. Carved in Bone is the first of the fiction books. Death's Acre is the first of the nonfiction books. That's why we have those here.
It's good. So
the souvenir skulls. Yeah. Anyway, you get it all at bonezones.com. Don't forget the S. They went to Dr. Bass's house not long ago and had him sign a bunch of new stuff that had just come in.
That's great.
And I think, did I tell you, I think you and I were talking at the opera, or maybe it was Channel 6 a little bit, that at the Rose Glen Literary Festival, he was unable to attend because of his Meniere's disease.
So you're kind of doing the presentation now, right?
Yeah, we knew that he was having an episode, so I had a couple of days to prepare if he was there and if he was not there.
Right.
So I brought along some audio recordings of Dr. Bass and me talking about, in this case, it was identifying bodies in fires and the tri-state crematory scandal in Noble, Georgia. So I did this whole lecture about cremation and everything, and the kids in the front row are the UT students from the forensic department. I'm looking at them like, am I messing up? No, they're like,
you're doing good. Yeah,
so
awesome.
I felt pretty good about that.
That's awesome.
But that's also bonezones.com. You find out about all of those things, get the merch, and that's it. I guess that's the commercial.
Yeah. It was fun seeing you at Living East Tennessee do your little spiel about Frank and Friends. I enjoyed that. And you did great with my social media, photos that you took of me doing my interview. I was like, I think Frank's hired. He has to follow me around and take photos.
I was hoping you'd return the favor. That's a good one of me.
I got a couple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I did. Yeah, I missed being there for a while. I was going. Well, the whole schedule, from watching the podcast, my whole schedule has been topsy-turvy, upside down since October because we got all the Scholars Bowl shows done. And I try to watch them every night.
Nice.
Which is, sometimes I'll have like a 6 o'clock board meeting and I'll be literally in the car in the parking lot watching the episode because I found a mistake on one the other night and I felt so bad for the crew. But it's my mistake. I'm the one who has flubbed up.
Sure.
But it should have gotten cut out because on the episode, I said, whatever I said, I said, okay, hang on, let me start again. Thank you for watching Tennessee Scholars Bowl. And I do that. And it's all on TV. The whole part of me going, I'm going to start again. 3, 2. Thank you for watching. And turning off.
It's on.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they've cut it out now, so it won't be on the reruns. But I felt
good.
so embarrassed. I felt so stupid. But that's why I watch the shows.
To make sure, yeah. I mean, that's fair. But you know what you can do? Like, even if you're in a meeting, you can use your AirPods, and if you get like a little bit of a wig, or you wear one of these hats.
I don't know. I think people
like
nowadays
sideways, then you can have it over your
I think people
ear.
nowadays just wear their AirPods all the time.
You can wear your AirPod, but you can have your video on, someplace else.
Okay, like at the next time we have a Marble City Opera
Next time you're at a board meeting, you can be doing
ridiculous. Well, this is Jere. Wears
I have
her
long hair, so
yes, Jere is able to hide her AirPods under her hair, so I will be talking to her, not realizing that she can't hear me because she's listening to one of her podcasts. Whereas with me, it's pretty obvious that I've got the AirPods on. But I found I had this crisis. I went to the dentist, and I remember thinking to myself, well, I won't bring the AirPods to the dentist. Okay. I don't need them at the dentist. Because I generally talk like this.
You're going to talk to everybody.
Or I want to hear they're talking to me the whole time.
Right.
But I finish at the dentist and I start driving home and I get an alert on my phone, and it says, I lost my AirPods, or what does it say? Find my AirPods.
Yeah.
Because I get this with my iPad all the time.
Sure.
And it says find my AirPods, and last seen at the address on Middlebrook Pike. That's the dentist's address.
Okay.
It's the exact address of the dentist.
Sure.
So what do?
You drive back to the dentist.
I drive back to the dentist, and I say, look, my phone says I've left my AirPods here. And they're like, well, we didn't find them. I said, but you're welcome to look around. We're now on lunch break. The rooms are all empty. And I felt so bad because I was down on all fours looking under every dental chair. I was opening the cabinet where the X-ray, the big lead
Because that's where you would have left them.
Well, because I thought they're magnetic, right?
I guess, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And the case is magnetic. And I'm thinking, if they leaned me way back to take the X-rays, or they leaned me way back, and I've had an issue at home where they have slid out of my pants pockets and they end up between couch cushions.
Sure.
So that's the first place I usually look, is between the cushions of the couch.
Right.
Well, I have searched this entire place. I'm sweating. I've broken out in a sweat like Todd Steed was coming over. And I can't find the AirPods anywhere in the place. And they say, well, if we find them, we'll give them to you. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Because at this point, time's a ticking.
Right.
And I got to come back and start doing a show for Lake George, New York, radio show for them. Because that's the other thing I've been busy doing, is 2 radio shows a day for Knoxville and the sister station up in Lake George, New York, which you can find online at lakegeorgeradio.com. But it's good. It's nice.
It is nice.
So I get home and I'm like, I'm just exhausted. I'm so furious. I'm about to call Jere and yell and say, but she's at work. She doesn't want to hear me.
Right.
She's probably listening to a podcast anyway.
Right.
So she doesn't want to know.
Yeah.
But I come in and there they are, right there on the counter.
That's great.
So now I got to call right where I left them. So now I got to call the dentist back and say, hey,
I'm really sorry.
remember that big fuss that I made and how I kind of turned everything upside down and dumped all the trash cans out?
Accused you of threat of like stealing them.
Yeah, and thought maybe somebody there had my AirPods that are expensive that I got for my birthday. And well, I have them. They're here.
That's good.
I have them at home.
That's what always happens to me.
I didn't know that, because that was the first time it happened to me. Now I get these false alarms almost every time I leave the house, where it picks some random address that I've just driven by and says, oh, you left your AirPods? Like, but I don't.
I didn't ever used to get those messages, and then in Iowa, I got a message saying that something was disconnected or close by, and it made me like actually start panicking. Like, mine are here. I have mine in my hand. So who is close enough to me on the outside of this little cabin that I'm in that it's picking up their AirPods? So that kind of freaked me out. But in general, I think.
Well, some women are freaked out about those air tags because I saw a news on this air tag, I guess, is like that, right?
Yeah.
It's just a location device.
Oh, okay.
This woman put one on her dog, but somehow she and her husband, they both have it, but it's registered to his phone. So every time the dog comes near her, Apple sends her a warning that she's being stalked.
That's terrible. It's just like, don't know. I mean, we don't need to know. But then when you actually lose your AirPods, you can't ever find them, and it's not working, right? So I've lost, I think, 4 sets of AirPods.
Oh my gosh! Because you tell it to make a noise, and it doesn't make a noise.
It doesn't make a noise.
It doesn't do anything.
So
the noise, and when it does make it, when you finally find it, tell it to make a noise. The noise is so low, there's no way you would have heard it anyway.
yeah, I mean, I'm notorious for losing things and then refinding them in strange places.
So what do you do with all these extra AirPods once you refind them?
Well, currently, I just found 2 extra sets this weekend. I was looking through my bags to find my bank card because I lost my bank card the last time I saw it was when I was in Knoxville, like in February or something. I don't even remember when I was here. And I haven't seen it, but no one has used it because I can clearly see that it's not been stolen.
Which is good.
Which is great. So I know it's somewhere. So I'm looking through everything, exactly what you're doing on all hands and knees and just climbing around everything. And
you may as well get a paper towel and some Windex and clean the floor while you're down there.
Exactly.
That's what I should have
But
done.
I did find 2 sets of AirPods on my journey to find my credit card.
That's hilarious. I wouldn't mention any particular spouse or close relative who may have lost a credit card or a bank card and has been on the phone to notify the company when said husband finds them in the back pocket of the clothes she was wearing the week before.
Yeah. Well, that's what James was like, you could call and get a new one just yesterday. And I was no, I don't want to. I know as soon as I make that phone call, I'm going to find it.
I'm sorry, Jere, but I got to tell that we were doing the income taxes, getting all the paperwork ready, all the receipts and everything ready. And Jere says, "Oh, remember when I called the credit card company and they never sent us the new cards?"
Here they are.
In a sealed envelope.
Yeah.
Unmarked.
That's me.
Yeah. So we had got replaced. And then we have to change everything because we had to get a new number for everything. It's the one we use for all the online purchases. So we have to get everything, Amazon and the website hosting and everything. You have to go in and reset the numbers. Yeah. And then of course she finds the ones with the old numbers.
I feel really seen right now. Yeah. So guess where I found my debit card?
Maybe that's the title of the episode.
Soprano thing.
I feel really seen right now. Okay. Where'd you find the debit card?
In my wallet. Behind my driver's license, which was also, in fairness. And I've looked through my wallet 100 times and pulled out all the credit cards and all the things. This was behind my driver's license, behind my insurance card.
So you stuck it in the
and then it was
slot.
like stuck in between.
A
couple of things, But at least I found it. Only a month or 2 later.
What were you telling me about the soprano pocket one time?
Oh, that's here,
Is it a real pocket?
No, it's not a real pocket. It's because dresses, in the 16th century and 17th century, they didn't make pockets in the skirts. And costumes now very rarely come with pockets for women in the skirts. But we have corsets.
Yeah.
And it's, nice and everything gets lifted. Everything's tight. So you can
place things in there.
Yeah.
Well, all right. The reason I ask is Jere's at the Knoxville Choral. In the off season of the Knoxville Choral Society, Jere said the seamstress who mends all their dresses has offered to put in pockets.
Nice.
So they're surveying the women to see where they would like them, and there's 3 options, and one of them is right there. And I thought, that's the soprano pocket.
Yeah.
And they said, well, that would be bad because it would be might be too lumpy.
Yeah.
And the other is the sides where you're. Meanwhile, the men directors are like, well, why do you need pockets? What is going to be in your pocket? Your phone? You can't have your phone on stage.
Keys, lipstick.
Yeah, see, they need you to explain all this.
Well, do men need to have their wallets in their pockets? Well, so women might need to have
not when you're
some
on
cash.
stage. I try to find a place to lock
Where
mine
are you
up.
going to lock it,
Yeah, I try to find a place to lock it up somewhere else because I don't like that bulkiness of having the phone and the wallet and every other thing.
Sure.
Because I have to have room for my Luden's cough drops.
See? You might need cough drops.
That's exactly what you need. Well, if you do like listening to things like this, and I hope that you do, please check out Audible and go to audibletrial.com/FrankandFriendsShow for a free 30-day premium membership so you can try out all of the benefits of Audible. And premium members get a credit every month for an MP3 download.
Nice.
And during your free month, you'll get 1 credit for an MP3 download. You can use it during that month, or if you're going to keep Audible, you can save it, bank them. Some of the longer projects require 2 or 3 credits, but there's a zillion that you can get with 1 credit, so take advantage of that. And try it out, audibletrial.com, Frank and Friends Show. You can listen on all your devices. It'll save your spot.
Great.
There's always new audio material, new audiobooks coming out every week, new custom audio entertainment from Audible, just a gazillion things. And podcasts like this one that you can listen to all, in one convenient location.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so check that out.
Yeah.
And we haven't had the the beach towel during the winter, but I brought it back out.
Even though it's still cold.
Well, I mean, I think we're past it. I think we're past it for a while.
I hope so.
Although my neighbor Nancy says, don't plant anything till Mother's Day. I don't have time to show you my fig cuttings right now, but I've got 18 of them. I didn't even explain the tulips from next door neighbor Nancy. I got to get out there and plant those. But anyway, the beach towel and all the other beautiful merchandise, please look this up and find this at frankandfriendsshow.com/store. And thank you for your help with that website, Kathryn. I think there's a few things I still need your help with on that.
We'll have to get it updated.
Yeah, but it's all good.
All right.
And that's, there you go, 30 minutes episode. I told you I could knock one out.
We did it. Stay tuned for the next one.
All right. This is the Frank and Friends Show. Please do subscribe on YouTube. Smash that button for notifications, and we appreciate you. I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Kathryn Frady.
And we'll talk to you again next time.